What's going on, guys? This is actually kind of sad, kind of messed up, but or December 1st. January 1st is often referred to as failure day, which is when you think about it, it's so messed up. So here's the thing, you don't want to fall into that, okay? So let's touch on a couple quick things here. The reason it's called failure day is for obvious reasons that the vast majority, everyone sets New Year's resolutions, and I read a stat that said like half of people quit on it by like the end of January. I got to tell you, just in my experience, and I'm going to be 45 in a couple weeks, and I can tell you this. Um, I don't believe it's 50%. I don't believe it's 50% at all. I think it's a much greater number that give up and don't go through on this. And this is the thing, it's so messed up. It's so sad because in the US, we've got a lot of problems, right? You might be in the I know some of you guys watching are not in the US. Um, but in the US, we have a lot of problems, right? Political problems, economic problems. We're dealing with inflation just like everywhere else in the world is. But it's still a place where if you bust your tail, you bust your ass, you can get ahead, right? Now, there of course there's arguments compared to different generations and all that, but forget about all that right now, okay? It's the fact that so many people don't even try. Like they hit one obstacle, and this is the thing, guys. I can't tell you this enough. I can't stress this enough. But you gotta beat the averages. You gotta beat the averages. You absolutely have to. If you want to get ahead, you have to, and you have to make a conscious decision to do it. Um, I'll give you a couple examples. One of the things that um, you want to do is you want to look at and you can easily find these income charts about what percentage of people make. It's like that if you're in the top 10%, you're over, I think, like 135,000 or whatever. So what you want to start with is you want to start and get into the wherever you're at, you want to get into the top 20%. And I don't know offhand, I don't know because I haven't looked at the top 20% in probably a decade, so I don't know what the top 20% is. It can't be that much though. I think I'm guessing it's probably like 75, $80,000 to get in the top 10%. Wait, excuse me, top 20%. And then once you get there, you want to get into the top 10% and then up from there. But let's stick to the New Year's things. You want to, if the average person, because this is what you want to do. You start from where you're at. Forget it. I know everyone wants to make everyone wants to make 300 grand a year. But if you're making 50 grand a year, you're gonna beat your head on the wall trying to make 300 grand a year, because I can tell you right now, and not to be negative, but you're not gonna go from 50 to 300. Okay, some people do, but it's very rare. Okay, so let's go with let's work on averages. I'll tell you. Now I'm going in like all these different directions here. I'll tell you a very interesting story. This is a thing that really had a big impact on me, like a big changes the way I think about things. Years ago, I think this is probably long time ago. I went to get a life insurance policy when when my first son was born. I went to get a life insurance policy, and I'm sitting in the office and they're asking me all these questions, and they take like blood samples from you, urine sample. It's like it's crazy, right? So I'm sitting in the office, and the guys ask me all these questions. Do I travel overseas? Which I don't. They asked me if I wear a seatbelt when I drive. They asked me if I skydive and if I've ever gone skydiving. And if you know me, I've never gone skydiving. I'm not a big fan of heights. Okay, so um, when I had a one-story house, I couldn't. I was putting up Christmas lights one year, and I couldn't get on the roof. I had to like, kind of reach, and I'm like, just get on one story. I couldn't do it. It's too high. And then one time I had to fix the gutter. I had to call my brother over because I'm like, Alan, you got to help me out. I can't get on the roof. And so anyway, so the where was I going with this? The why was I talking about going on the roof? The hell am I thinking? the insurance, the insurance, um, they're playing everything by no, oh, because of the stupid skydiving. Anyway, so yeah, no, so I'm laughing, right? I'm laughing at the guy asked me about the skydiving, and he explained that they look at a broad picture, and they look at your risk factors of you getting injured, you getting killed, and then I thought about it afterwards. That really stuck with me, and I realized that with for an average person, you and I, we don't know. We might die tomorrow. We might live to 100. Okay, no one knows, right? And often people talk about that things are a crapshoot, and you might have religious beliefs, and that's fine. We all do, right? But the way the insurance companies look at it, they look at everything by averages. So they say, okay, if you work out and you eat healthy and you wear a seatbelt when you drive and you don't skydive and you don't travel to you don't travel to countries where there might be illnesses and like I think parts of the Amazon has like what is it called, like malaria, stuff like that. And if you don't smoke cigarettes and drink beer, but well, some of us like to. There's nothing. I think there's nothing wrong with that if that's how you want to unwind. But if you don't do it to excess, right? So, anyways, so they look at all that stuff. If you do all that stuff, they assume that you're going to live to the averages, which I think for a male in the U.S. is like 75 or somewhere right around there, right? And they say, no, could you do all these healthy things and die of a heart attack? Yes, we all know people who have. Okay. On the flip side, they say, well, by average, if you smoke, if you drink heavily, if you eat bad and got high cholesterol, high blood pressure, well, then you're going to die sooner. On their averages, that's what the average person who does that stuff is going to die sooner. And again, do we know? We've all heard the story of the 94-year-old woman who still smokes cigarettes every day. Of course, that'd be awesome to be that person, but that's the outlier. That's not the norm. So you want to look at everything in your life of how the insurance companies look at us, right? So we'll go in let's go in two different directions on this. Like number one, so if you want to make more money, well, you got to do more things that are going to make you money. So if, let's say, for example, if you make more sales calls in your business, will you make more money? Is it guaranteed? Of course it's not guaranteed. But is it very likely? Would you bet on it? Would an insurance company ensure that you will make more money? Yes. If you get a second job, are you going to make more money? Chances are you will. If you study and develop more skills, will you in turn increase your income from that? Again, the answer has to be yes, as opposed to if you don't do those things. Now, and that ties back to us beating the averages as far as, and then I'm going to go somewhere with the income thing too. But as far as, most people giving up on the New Year's resolutions, on somewhere between day one, January 1st and January 31st, that's insane. So you want to beat those averages. So I don't care if day one, day two, day three, day 27, you're like just going through the motions. Go through the motions, beat the averages. Just get to February 2nd and do your whatever goal you're working on. Just keep it going. Just beat the averages. The other thing with income too is you want to get ahead of most people, and it's you can look at it as a competitive thing. You could look at it as a personal competitive thing. However you look at it, doesn't matter. But you want to move forward because you're gonna be better off for your family, better off for yourself, better off for people you want to help. You know, there's something years ago um, that people were talking about religious things. Well, if you're religious, you shouldn't, you know, go after money, and you shouldn't. That's greedy. And I am religious, and what I read is that God wants you to be more than abundant. And I remember I was talking to my wife about this actually not too long ago, and she was we were looking at houses, and she said, is it is it wrong? Are we being greedy by moving up more, like, you know, moving up again? And I said to her, I said, Melissa, I said, God wants you to be more than abundant. And she said, for real? Like, are you just joking around? I'm like, no, that's really what I read. It's like, God doesn't want you to just have abundance. He wants you to have more than abundance. And she said, okay, that's interesting. Why? And the reason why is very simple. Think about if you want to help your family, okay? You want to provide a good environment for your family. Is it good to be poor, or is it better to have more money? And the answer is obvious. If you want to help people, the people who help people who are down and out, because I have a lot of empathy, sympathy for people who are down and out, because I also understand that life is, and this is another topic for another video, but real quick, you do create, I'm a big believer in, you create your own luck. You create your own destiny, whatever you want to call it, but you create your own luck. But at the same time, luck plays, this sounds redundant. Like, you create your environment, right? But luck plays a big role in life. For example, you know, if you're born into a great family with great parents who get you a great upbringing, excellent education, and then, you know, give you $100,000 to start your life and buy your first house, that's luck. That's luck. And on top of it, you're healthy. As opposed to, you know, you're born into just a regular, you know, lower income family. Your parents do their best. They don't have anything. You go to crappy schools, you get out, you struggle for years, and then you kind of figure things out. You know, that's what I'm saying. Luck plays a role, right? But then again, if we work hard, then we can change our luck. You know, I'm a believer in that. But we're gonna finish on this. We're gonna wrap it on this. Is getting ahead of the averages, guys. Beat the averages. If most people are giving up on their goals, don't give up on them. Keep them going. And that sounds cliche. Don't give up on your goals. That's stupid. I just pretend I didn't say that. It sounds dumb. It's so obvious, but it sounds dumb. But here's the thing. Let's say today's the kind of day that can kind of get away from you, because it's New Year's Day. It's a holiday. You're not working. You're not in your normal routine. A lot of times where, let me just add this. I'm not gonna get it. I've seen YouTube videos, and there's people, I like their channels, and I respect them, and people go, well, you shouldn't be, you know, hungover, you should be doing this, you do that. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? If you stayed up late last night, that's fine. Okay, you could stay up late. I didn't, but that's not why I'm saying it. But I'm saying, like, you don't want to do dumb things, but you could stay up late and have a good time. Maybe you stayed up with your kids, maybe you hung out with a couple friends, and that's fine. But then you get back to work, guys. Then you get back to work. But here's the thing. So maybe today got away from you. Maybe you're like, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Every day I'm going to work out. And then you're like, holy shit, it's January 1st. It's 10 o'clock at night. I forgot to work out. Well, here's the thing. You can do one of two things. You could still work out. Or you could, if you miss a day, then you get back on it, and you get on January 2nd, you work out, and maybe you do a double workout. Whatever it might be, guys, but beat the averages. Beat the averages.